Imagine a war that lasted 335 years. That's longer than the United States has existed. Think about it. The United States declared its independence in 1776, and this war had already been ongoing for over a century. But here's the twist. No one fired a single shot. No battles were fought, no blood was shed. It was a war in name only, a peculiar standoff that spanned generations. No blood, no battles. Just a strange, silent conflict that persisted through the ages. Imagine soldiers standing down, camps with no activity, and a peaceful countryside that never saw the horrors of war. Just silence. For centuries. The seasons changed, generations came and went, and still the war lingered on paper, a ghostly reminder of a forgotten conflict. This is the bizarre true story of the Dutch Scilly War, the longest war in history, that almost everyone forgot. A war that existed more in the annals of history than in the reality of the battlefield. In 1651, Europe was in chaos. The continent was a patchwork of warring states, shifting alliances and political intrigue. The 30 Years' War had just ended, leaving much of Central Europe devastated. The Peace of Westphalia had redrawn borders, but tensions remained high. England was in the middle of a brutal civil war, Royalists versus parliamentarians. This conflict wasn't just a battle for the throne, it was a struggle over the very nature of governance and religion in England. Families were torn apart and the countryside was ravaged by battles and skirmishes. Meanwhile, the Dutch Republic had emerged as a naval powerhouse, protecting trade and fighting pirates. Their fleets dominated the seas, ensuring the flow of goods and wealth to and from their burgeoning empire. The Dutch were not just traders, they were also fierce warriors, defending their interests with unmatched naval prowess. But what did this have to do with a tiny group of islands off the coast of England? The Isles of Scilly, though small and seemingly insignificant, found themselves caught in the crossfire of these larger conflicts. Their strategic location made them a valuable asset for controlling the English Channel and the surrounding waters. The islands became a focal point for naval skirmishes and power struggles, as both the English and the Dutch sought to control this crucial maritime region. Off the southwestern tip of England lie the Isles of Scilly, a remote cluster of islands. In 1651 they became a stronghold for Royalist privateers, pirates who were attacking Dutch ships. The Dutch, frustrated by the losses, demanded justice. When they got no reply, they did something radical. They declared war. The Dutch fleet arrived and waited. No army, no resistance. The Royalists surrendered soon after, but the Dutch never fought, never landed, and soon sailed away. But here's the twist. They never officially called off the war. For nearly 3.5 centuries, the war remained on the books. No one remembered it. No one cared. The Dutch and British traded, allied, and even fought other wars, while a forgotten declaration of war quietly gathered dust in the archives. Then, in 1986, a historian named Roy Duncan stumbled upon the strange fact that the war had never officially ended. This discovery was made while he was meticulously going through old war records and official documents in the archives. Roy Duncan, a dedicated historian, was known for his attention to detail and his passion for uncovering hidden stories from the past. Embarrassed and amused, officials from the Netherlands and Scilly arranged a peace ceremony. The realization that a war had technically been ongoing for over 3 centuries, despite no actual conflict, was both humorous and astonishing. The officials decided it was high time to put an official end to this peculiar chapter in history. A Dutch ambassador arrived and formally declared peace. The ceremony was a simple yet significant event, held with a sense of both formality and lightheartedness. The ambassador, representing the Netherlands, made a formal declaration, bringing an official conclusion to the so-called war, ending a war that had lasted 335 years with exactly 0 casualties. The peace ceremony was attended by local dignitaries and historians, all of whom were amused by the absurdity of the situation. The event was covered by the media, capturing the smiles and handshakes of the officials as they marked the end of a war that had never seen a single battle. It's a charming story but also a lesson. Wars can begin with anger and last through apathy. Paper conflicts can outlive empires, and sometimes the longest wars are fought not with weapons, but with forgetfulness. Somewhere in a forgotten archive, another war may still be ticking, silently waiting for a signature to stop it. Because even peace can be paperwork. Subscribe to Chronicles Unveiled for more forgotten wars, absurd history, and secrets buried in plain sight.